Hey guys, it's Cheryl here from DIYXC. Today we're going to be showing you how to set up your Epson Ecotank printer for sublimation. In this video we're using a Epson Ecotank 2720, but the same procedure goes for basically all Epsons, so you can use that no matter what Ecotank printer you're using. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you remove all of the blue protective tape here. So we'll do that now. All right, now that we've gone ahead and removed all the blue tape, it's time to fill out the ink. So you'll pop open this here. This is where you're going to be filling your ink here. So we've got a couple different options here. So as you can see, the Ecotanks do come with their own ink. Of course, this is not the ink we're going to use because we want to put sublimation ink in here. So option number one is certain sublimation ink companies have come up with a similar version of their ink in these types of bottles that will work to fit into the Epson tank printer there. Or option number two is you can actually just empty the ink that's in here out of these, wash them out, and then fill them with sublimation ink if you get it in the big bottles. So for me, I normally buy it in bulk, so that's kind of the road that I usually use. So we're going to go ahead and use that method for this one. So I'm going to go wash these out, then we'll come back and fill up the printer. Okay, so we've gone ahead, washed out the Epson ink bottles that came with the printer and filled them up with sublimation ink. As I said before, your other option is just to find an ink provider that actually sells them in the Epson bottles so that the key works to load that ink into the printer. So you're going to just flip out the flap here, open up your ink. Then when you insert it here, you'll notice that you hear it kind of guzzling out of there, and you'll see it start to fill down on your gauge here. It does take a second to fill up that tank, so just kind of leave it in there until you can hear that it's no longer flowing into the tank. And we're going to go ahead and repeat that with all the other colors here. All right, now that we got all the ink tanks full, it's time to plug in the power cord into the back of the printer, and then we're going to go ahead and turn the printer on. And it talks to you about filling up the ink here, so just follow what's on the screen here. And then it'll give you a prompt here to hold down on the question mark tab, and then you are going to confirm that you did in fact fill the ink tanks here. And then what it's going to do is you're going to hear some sounds here, and what that's doing is just charging up the printer. So it's pulling a bunch of ink through the ink head just to get everything started here. So this does take a little bit of time, so we'll let this finish up and then we'll come back. Okay, so now that the printer is done doing its thing, we loaded some paper in, and it's going to ask you to do a print head alignment. This is always a good idea just because it's going to get you the best quality print right off the bat. So we're just going to say okay and print on that. Yes, we've got paper loaded in. It's going to go ahead and print that. And then it'll ask us to pick some options based on what prints. So I would go ahead and do that because, like I said, you want the best quality right off the bat there. Okay, so now that we've got all that figured out, your last step is to connect the printer to your computer. There's two different ways to do this, either through Wi-Fi or cord. My printer's nowhere near my computer, so we're going to go Wi-Fi. So you just go into the connection via Wi-Fi. You'll have to enter in your password, and then it will connect to your computer. So next up, we are going to head over to the computer and show you how to set up the rest from there. Okay, so now that we've got the printer all set up, we're going to switch over to the computer side of things. So in this video, I'm going to be using a Microsoft computer, but I'm assuming for a Mac, it would be very similar. So the first thing you want to do is open up your internet browser, and you're going to go to epson.ca with their support. I will link that down in the description below. You just want to make sure you have the right printer at the top here. So for our video, Epson Ecotank 2720, you're going to come down to the driver here, and you're going to click download on that. So it'll either come down here or go into your download folder. You just want to go in there and click on that, which is going to install the program for you. I've already got that installed on my computer here, so we're just going to go right into that. So come down to the start menu and just search printer, and you're going to find this printers and scanner. Go ahead and open that up. As you can see, I've got a big long list here. If you're not seeing your printer show up in that list, you can just click up here for add a printer or scanner. Ours is showing up right here, so we're going to go ahead and manage that. Once you're in here on the left-hand side, you want to go to Printing Preferences, click on that. And it's going to open up a box here with a bunch of different options. And so all the settings for sublimation will pretty much be the same in here, except for one key difference, and that's the first setting here, the paper type. So for any fabric type surfaces, you're going to want to select Premium Presentation Matte right down at the bottom here. The reason for this is that it's going to put extra ink on the page so you get a more vibrant image when you're printing on something like fabric that's going to soak up some of that ink. However, if you're transferring onto a hard surface, things like mugs or stainless steel products, you can just go ahead and select Premium Photo Paper Semi-Gloss here. The extra ink isn't needed for these surfaces, and so you're going to save yourself a little bit of ink, and the quality is going to be really good on that setting. Then we want to come down to quality, and we want to change this from standard to make sure that's set on high. And then we're done on that one, so we're going to go to the second tab here, which is more options. You're going to come down to the color correction, and you're going to go custom and then advanced. In the advanced here, you want to come down to the brightness, and you want to turn that up by 10. The reason being is a lot of times these sublimation inks just print a little bit darker. So by turning that up a little bit, you're going to get a really vibrant image without losing the kind of depth or nice color there. So click OK there. And the last thing here is this high speed right here. You just want to make sure that that's going to be turned off. Yes, these printers do print slow, but it's worth the wait to get the better quality. So I would just go ahead and turn that off. Now that we've got all this set, you want to go in and save this. So you want to go up to here, Add Remove Preset. And you're just going to name your settings, Sublimation Tutorial, pick an icon, and then you can just go ahead and hit Save here. It's going to show up at the bottom of your list. I like to take it to the top so it's easy to access. And then you're just going to hit Close. The reason why you want to do that is so anytime, no matter what, if your printer accidentally gets reset, you've just got this, you can click and that'll give us all the settings that we just went in and changed. And that's really going to be the best way to get a high quality print. From there, you just click OK, and then you'll get out of here. And then we just want to pull up the image that we're ready to print. So I use Adobe products, but no matter what you use, it'll be the same. So load up your image, click Print, make sure you've got the right printer selected, and then go ahead and just hit Print down there. Okay, so something I want to show you here really quick is when we do change those settings on the computer, when you go to print, it is going to bring up this screen on your printer here. And just says paper type does not match your print settings. So what you want to do here is just click OK. And then you have two options here. You can either choose this first one here, which is going to say continue printing. If you press OK, it's going to print with these settings for this specific job, but after that, it's going to default back to what it was at. Or you can go down to the change setting. And this is basically saying to the printer, I know that that paper that I selected is in the printer. And so going forward, it will assume that is in the printer. So once your sub paper is in there, I would say just change the settings so that it'll automatically print with this setting going forward. And then just hit print. Okay, so here we have the final finished product. So as you can see, the colors come out really nice. All the detail is there. The quality is really good. Alright guys, so that is how you set up your Epson Ecotank printer to print great sublimation images. I hope you liked my video. If you could please give me a like and subscribe to my channel, that would be awesome. Thanks guys.